Alright my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and I can finally talk to you about what I have been working on for the last few days now. This, my friends, is the XFX 9060 XT. This is the Swift model, the one that will be available tomorrow. This actually goes live tomorrow. Cost of this is going to be, I believe it was $349. That's what the advertised price is for, or the MSRP for the 9060 XT. Guys, this is my first time actually getting pre-launch GPU, so I'm going to try to do my best to give you all the information you need. I've spent about a week with this. I've played lots of games, and to be fair, because this is the only GPU that's been sent out to me before, I really didn't have the time to prep to get a whole bunch of stuff. I actually bought the 5060 Ti for, not necessarily for this review. I'm going to try to get a little bit, at least a sneak peek in there, but this is mainly going to be about the 9060 XT. And if you should get this card, if it's worth it, if it's worth your time, if it's as advertised, if it does what it's supposed to do. So let me go ahead and show you guys, or tell you guys about the specs of this card, just so that you understand. So this is RDNA 4, the newest architecture from AMD. It's built on the TSMC N4P platform, 29.7 billion transistors. The die size is 199 millimeters squared. The compute units are 32, so there's 32 compute units, 32 ray accelerators, 64 AI accelerators, stream processors 2048, GPU game GPU clock is 2530, boost up to 3130, and I've seen it go even past that. So it's pretty crazy. So peak single precision throughput is up to 25.6 T-flops, and then the half precision throughput is 51.3 T-flops. Peak int 8 AI tops throughput is up to 410 tops with sparsity, and then peak int 4 AI tops throughput is up to 821 tops with sparsity. Peak texture fill rate up to 400.6 gigatexels or texels or whatever they're called. 64 ROPS. Peak pixel fill rate up to 200.3 gigapixels. AMD Infinity Cache 32 megabyte Gen 3. Memory 16 gigs of GDDR6, or you can get the eSports, I repeat, eSports version with 8 gigabytes of VRAM for $299 starting price. So remember that is designed for the 8 gigabyte GPUs are designed for 1080p. I mean, if you look at this gigabyte arrow, this is the 5060 8 gigabyte. We did a bunch of testing on that. Obviously, they're great for 1080p. They absolutely hit that market and give you. So if you find yourself in a position where you have to get the 8 gigabyte, at least you'll be able to game on it. It was pretty dang good. So memory speed on this is 20 gigabytes per second. Memory bus width is 128-bit. PCIe Gen 5, 16 lanes, all of them. And then 160 watt for the board power. And then you also have up to 180 watts for the 16 gigabytes. So 160 for the 8, 180 for the 16 gigabyte, which is pretty good. And I've actually seen it go a little bit higher. I'm probably like 187 while running games and stuff. So not bad. Now that we got that boring stuff out of the way, let's talk about what we all want to hear about, and that's video games. Now guys, this is the XFX brand. I love XFX. As you know, that's what all the GPUs I've bought from AMD have been. On this base model, this right here, it does light up, and I will show you that. We actually get freaking RGB. Like, go figure. It's a white light. It looks cool. It shines. It shows up as XFX. It looks pretty freaking awesome. So what we have here is one 8-pin. One 8-pin for your power delivery. On the back, you are going to notice that you only have 3 display ports. You have two 2.1A for the DisplayPort, and then also 2.1 HDMI. That's it. It would have been interesting to see if there was 4. I mean, to have 4, then you would have more. This does have a quiet and a performance mode switch. You do have a dual BIOS on this, and then you've got a pretty robust heatsink for this triple fan design. Very sleek looking. I do love and appreciate the aesthetic of what XFX does. I do like their cards. If you look on the back, you get this nice, you know, little pattern right here. Not super fancy, but I mean, it gets the job done and it looks cool. Like, it looks freaking cool. So guys, let's talk about this gaming for a minute. So you guys know me. If you've been at the channel for a while, if you're brand new, if this is your first video, hit that subscribe button. I will be doing a massive amount of content for this. I'm 100% like a Radeon guy. I absolutely love the Radeon experience. I love the Adrenaline software. I'm absolutely in the corner saying go Team Red. So yeah, obviously this review is going to probably it's not going to be fluff, but it's definitely going to emphasize the things that the card does really, really well, while also talking about the things that the card, you know, guys, honestly, I have not found it lacking. I was going to say, you know, in areas where it lacks, but if we take this into context, okay, this is essentially a 1080p card. It's built at a 1080p entry level, 128-bit bus. Obviously, the 16 gigs of VRAM give it a lot more. It definitely has AI compute, and trust and believe, I was using that with some FSR4. The card is these cards are kind of interesting, to be completely honest with you. And $350, I can't believe AMD is just giving this away. I'm not even joking. Like, I'm not even saying, like when you look at the prices of the competitors, and then you look at and like you see right in front of your eyes exactly what this card can do, you're scratching your head. You're like, why does AMD keep like lowering their price? Why do they keep that kind of stuff? Just I don't know. But so basically is what I'm saying is, like, yes, they are basically giving you a deal on this. Now, I've tested everything from 1080p, 1440p, 3440 by 1440p. That's the main resolution that we did a lot of testing on, because this is being marketed as a 1440p card. So I wanted to really stress that. And I mean, really, I mean, we're talking the AAA, the newest AAA games. We're talking, you know, just being able to fully get that. Now, I must emphasize that AMD states that this is a good, solid 1440p card when you use the features. Okay? Now, I need to stress that, because you're not going to buy this card and run out there and be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to jump right into 1440p. Like, yes, you can do it native on a lot of games. Trust me, I tested a lot of games. I went back. I even tested this card at 4K. And getting playable experiences at 4K on this GPU, more in line with what I was getting from the 7800 XT. Now, I never had the 7700 XT, but I did buy a 7800 XT, and this card is pretty damn close to that. And when you're using the features, even surpasses it in some ways, obviously with the clarity and the image quality with FSR4, but you have pretty much the same frame generation technology in 7800 XT as you do this, so you can definitely get 7800 XT to push above and beyond what this is. But for what this is, wow, my friends, we sat here for about a week now. And I've been testing this, and don't worry, I'm going to get you guys some numbers and stuff like that. I'm going to show you, like, for the rest of the video, you're going to be seeing gameplay and different scenarios and stuff like that. But first, is what I want to do is I want to get this thing back in, and I want to get it fired up and get you guys up to the screen so that you guys can see some cool stuff. All right, my friends, this is the XFX Swift in its natural habitat, all fired up. Look at that beautiful RGB that you get on this entry level GPU. That is just incredible. So guys, let me just bring you over here and give you a little tour of the Adrenaline software. So these are I wanted you guys to kind of look at the settings on here. I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of insight into the overall settings for this. If you come over here and we drag this baby down, so total board power right now 30 watts. This is idle, there's nothing going on, so your idle board power is about 30 watts. GPU temperature sits around 39 with a hotspot temp of 41. Usually when I'm gaming, this is you'll be seeing this here in a minute. We're usually right around 70 with a maybe 40, 50, a little bit higher on that right there. The wattage is in millivolts. Now I will get all of your guys' 3D Mark stuff for you after the embargo goes live. I just do not know if running this GPU on there is going to put that information on the internet. And the last thing I want to do is break my thing and have that information up there. So as you can see, power consumption right here is 36 watts, GPU temperature. Yeah, dude, this is crazy. Like this thing is so freaking efficient when it comes to like power and all of that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into performance. We're going to turn back on our overlay, and then we are going to go out, and then we are going to jump into a fairly high or fairly hard to run game, because I want you guys to see this. All right, guys, we're going to be checking this out. So let me just get in here. We're at 4K, and now this is where everything gets kind of crazy, because here we are at super resolution, or AMD's FSR3 with performance, frame generation enabled. We've got all of that on. We don't have the ray tracing enabled just yet, but let's go ahead and jump into our game. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna insert good old freaking OptiScaler. We're gonna apply that 3x. Give it just a second, it'll pop back up. So now, as you can see, we are FSR 4.0. So let's insert back out of that, jump into the game. So now we are essentially 4K resolution, my friends. And as you can see, we're like 93 frames with FSR 4 on, which looks absolutely mind-blowing, but I don't think that I had HDR on. Now we do. And now we are freaking, dude, we're on a 60 series GPU at 90 frames a second with clean image quality, thanks to FSR 4 on Cyberpunk 2077. Can you freaking believe that? We are on a 60 class card at 4K resolution. I already know what you're gonna say, but it's upscaled. Yeah, but look at this image quality, guys. It's the same thing as DLSS. You guys, they tell me all the time. So yeah, this actually works, and it looks absolutely incredible. Now, yes, you can also, if you really want to, you could turn on ray tracing. Ray trace lighting, if you do this to medium and then apply that, because this card does have ray tracing capability, and you can actually get 60 FPS experience at 4K with this. But I will tell you right now that this right here, it does feel a lot closer to like 30% or 30 frames a second in terms of like your latency or whatever on your controls or whatever. So yes, absolutely you can use it, and absolutely it's a fairly stable experience. Like while you're running, like this feels smooth and everything like that. The screen doesn't feel all jerky or anything like that. But yeah, you can absolutely enable ray tracing now on a 60 class card, have 4K using OptiScaler's FSR 4 to play that with frame generation enabled. Now, here's the thing, guys, and this is why I have to state this, that these GPUs, this generation, the ones that are, in my opinion, guys, these are the actual first ones that really push the limits of the software side of things to a point where we now have the ability to buy a 60 class card, which is essentially 1080p or whatever. I mean, it's the entry level cards, and play high-end features in line with what a 3080 would do. Like, better than what a 3080 would have done. You know what I mean? Like, this is better than what a 3080 would have done when it launched with the feature set that was available for the 3080 when I first bought that. This is a better experience. This is 60 FPS. This is ray tracing. This is frame generation, obviously, and beautiful freaking upscaling in a performance mode. Like, this looks clean. It looks crisp. It looks very, very, very nice. And this is an LG 4K OLED, and you can just see the absolute beauty in the colors in the reproduction. Like, it does not feel horrible to like turn your camera with a controller. Like, we are using a controller. This is the Nikon Revolution X unlimited controller, with it being plugged in like this, 1 millisecond. So you're essentially, when you're moving this controller, you get no latency out of the controller. Like, it's very, very low, 1 millisecond. So you look at that, and you just, you know, include like the average frame latency or whatever that you'd be getting from like 30 to 60. Now, I know that everybody says we got to have 60 to play. Okay, like, yeah, for the most part, it definitely feels a lot better, a lot more fluid. But this actually, the thing that normally gets me with the frame generation at the lower settings is when you turn the camera like this, it almost looks like it's 30 frames. Okay, like, you could still see that, but like when you're moving forward, it's just absolutely smooth. Everything looks beautiful. And so that's why I'm like, oh yeah, this looks absolutely freaking incredible. All right, my friends, this is another one of those games. This one right here is going to be Oblivion, running on the 9060 XT. And we are essentially running this at high settings, at 4K with FSR it balanced. We'll probably end up taking this down to performance, just due to the fact that this is FSR 4. So let's go ahead and jump into my save. And I want to show you guys this. This is the thing that I don't think a lot of other reviewers are going to be showing you guys today. They're going to be showing you guys the negatives, or not necessarily negatives, but they're going to be showing you the brutal, honest rasterized power, which on this card actually isn't bad. I'm going to be showing you guys some of that too, but first I want to show you guys that before you guys go into this card thinking like, oh man, this one's not that good. I'm doing this specifically to show you guys the features, because the features are absolutely something that really work with this generation. I mean, look at this, guys. We're at 4K. We're at 70 frames a second. We're running around with FSR 4, and this looks absolutely freaking beautiful. 70 frames. The screen's not all jittery or anything like that. It just feels smooth. I mean, obviously, this is a game that was built on an older platform and then reinvigorated with UE5 for the new generation, and with that comes a lot of freaking problems. So to be able to get on this, guys, I'm not even joking, to be able to get on this on a 9060 XT and have this clean of an image quality on a 4K display, my friends, this is madness. And I don't even know what got me on this kick about trying 4K anyways. I think it was because when I had the 7600 XT, I had pulled that card out and I was like, you know what, man, I want to see if it'll run. Gosh dang it, what was that? The new game at the time was Suicide Squad. So I was running at it like at like 4K, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I wanted to see if FSR 4 could like power through. I wanted to see if we could utilize frame generation in a way that would actually give the average gamer, and we're not talking about the enthusiasts, we're talking about the average gamer that wants to buy a new GPU, but is terrified, freaking out because the prices are going up and the hardware specs are going down in terms of like obviously 128-bit bus. You know, it just feels like everything is being stripped out from under us when it comes to these new GPUs. And so I had to take my knowledge of, you know, being in the automotive industry and well in like the industry of like fixing and maintaining stuff, you know, when it comes to anything with like engines and stuff like that. And over the time, our cars have gotten significantly more efficient. They run better. They run on, you know, I mean, my truck alone has an 8-cylinder V8 that has cylinder deactivation. 4 of my cylinders will turn off, and it will save me gas. You know what I mean? So it's like the new efficient technologies can absolutely still deliver the same type of experience, because do I need all 8 cylinders rocking all the way down the freeway? No, I can coast that on 4 cylinders, no problem. And that's essentially what this is doing, my friends. It's coasting it. It's giving you like 80 frames a second on this game. Bro, I can't even get 80 games native on my freaking 5070 Ti or 9070 XT. Like, I can't do that. But I can use these features and push way higher. Absolutely. But I mean, these are settings that I would even consider using on those GPUs if I needed higher frame rates. But think about it this way, okay? We all know, like PC gaming, man, like we get what we can get. We buy what we can afford. And we do that knowing that, like, man, this is going to take this is going to be, I might have this card for a long time, so I want to make the best, good, solid decision. And my friends, I literally just bought a 5060 Ti, 16 gigabyte because this so that we could compare this card. And I'm telling you right now, my preliminary testing legitimately puts these two cards very freaking close. I haven't had a whole lot of time to look at the 5060 Ti to really dig deep into that GPU just yet. But I'm working on it. I'm working on them simultaneously right now. I've got a lot of footage and a lot of capture from the 9060 XT, and now I'm just trying to go back through. I actually already threw a video together for the 5060 Ti, or for the 5060 Ti 16 gig and this GPU. That'll be toward the end of this video. I'm just going to leave that there and show you guys that. And it shows like rasterized power. Like these things are pretty dang neck and neck. The 9060 XT does start to pull ahead though, in a lot of instances for that. Obviously there are going to be some instances where the 5060 Ti is just going to outshine. Anything with NVIDIA branding is probably going to do very well on that card, because it was doing very well on the 5060 8 gigs. So this is an interesting one, my friends. Like, as you can see, we are just playing, we're moving along. We are nice, steady, stable frame rate. The thing is even with frame generation, guys, as long as it is programmed into the game and we've got the motion vectors and all of that stuff, the experience is more stable. If you could lock this to 40, if you could lock your game to 40 frames, so that you can get that frame rate and then turn on your frame generation and take your little bit of hit for your latency or whatever and play on a controller, like you're good, like you are good to go. And that's what I mean when I say that this GPU right here, look how stable this has been. Like, we're just sitting here and this has been stable. Like, this is incredible value for people that just want to play, that don't have a lot of money, to be able to do something like this. Like, obviously this is like best case scenario. Like, you know, like if you're like, oh my gosh, I messed up, I bought a 4K display and now I need to be able to run it. Like, you can you can play this. And the good thing about the frame gen is, even if you've only got like a 60 FPS TV, your frame gen is still going to, you know, like it doesn't matter. If it maxes out your screen, the better. Doesn't even matter. If the frames are way higher than what your screen can output, it doesn't mess it up. It just keeps working. It just keeps working, and it's smoother actually. It's just smoother. It's like it's incredible what these can do. So we're going to be moving on over to the majority of the bulk of my testing. I didn't really do a whole lot of 1080p stuff, just due to the fact that, like, I didn't really think that was super relevant. I mean, I will be doing some 1080p stuff along the way, but most of the testing is 3440 by 1440p. So we are going to be jumping over to that so that you guys can check that out as well. Okay guys, we're going to be checking out the Assassin's Creed running on 9060 XT with the Ultra preset. Now, as you know, this game does have upsampling, but it's like FSR1, so we're not even going to try to use that. We're just going to go ahead and jump into this game with just regular settings at first, just native. And we are going to be doing, you know, 3440 by 1440p, so that will be our screen size. So as we get into the game, the native resolution, we go ahead and take a look. Let's spin this camera, check this bad boy out. Looking just as good as you would imagine it would be looking for an Assassin's Creed game. This is one of the games that I do in the benchmark, just due to the fact that, like, it's one of the games that I like to play. I still play it to this day. I get in here and I test this out with basically every GPU I get my hands on. So the 9060 XT is no different. Seeing as this is a game that I absolutely will like to play. So what we'll do is we'll run around here just for a second, and then we are going to jump into the settings and enable fluid motion frames, which is AMD's frame generation at a driver level. Just so that you guys can see the difference between that and just being able to run this game natively. I would say this is pretty freaking good for a $350 GPU to be able to run native 3440 by 1440p at ultra settings, above 60 frames a second. Now, if you were running this at 1440p, it'd probably be a little bit better. Maybe you get 70 frames a second. But let's go ahead and enable our fluid motion frames. Now, fluid motion frames 2.1 does have the ability to select high for your search mode and quality for your performance mode. And then we will jump back into the game, and as you can see, that basically doubled our frames, like, right out of the freaking gate. And we've still got a smooth experience with, I want to say, minimal ghosting, but we all know that the Johnny Cage effect is in full motion. The Johnny Cage shadow kick is in full motion. When you've got it on this game right here. But the thing is when you're running with frame generation on and you're playing the game and you're just having fun and you're immersed in the experience, it honestly just enhances the experience. It smooths it out. It makes it even better. It gives you the appearance of a higher frame rate. And as long as you're above 60 frames a second most of the time, you are pretty decent, because you're still essentially getting that 60 FPS latency, maybe a little bit more. As you can see, it adds 12 milliseconds of latency to whatever you are already getting on this game in particular. So that's not really bad. That's not a massive hit that you're taking for that, and not really a lot of degradation to the overall image quality. Image quality still looks absolutely freaking pristine. Beautiful, beautiful image quality on this game. Like I said, I love it. I love open world games. I keep coming back here because I like to explore England in the 13th century, or what is it, 8th century, 9th century? Yeah, this is absolutely incredible. Running around here, looking at this beautiful game. Oh no. Wait, did I already die? Really? Are you kidding me? What was I like? At like no health? What was I at like no health? Okay, so that there is Assassin's Creed Valhalla running at above 120 frames a second with frame gen enabled. All right, guys. So, is what I did was I put some other games in here. I got some Assassin's Creed. I got some Sniper Elite at the end. Sniper Elite Resistance. I have some. Actually, let me just scrub the timeline and find out. I got some Banishers Ghost of New Eden in here, and then I have some Blades of Fire. That's a brand new game that just came out. Some Forza Motorsport. And then we will finish this off with, wait, what game was this one? Oh, some GTA 6 or GTA 5, and then some Sniper Elite Resistance. So it's basically is what I wanted to do. I think the GTA is at 1080p. So I did do a little bit of 1080p and stuff like that. And is what I wanted to kind of show you guys was, across all of these games, okay, some of them older games, some of them brand new games, the overall consistency that you can get with frame rate across all of these games, if you use the features, if you don't use the features, it's one of those things where you adjust some settings or whatever. This is a very capable card. Like, this thing is absolutely freaking incredible. What it does for your image quality, for your gaming experience, all of it, it really just kind of, like I said earlier in the video, I'm like, I can't believe AMD is just giving this away. Seriously, it's the like I was saying, we are at a time with GPUs where the software is just as performant as the hardware itself. And if you take a look, like when you watch these videos and you just look at the performance, I mean, obviously with Assassin's Creed Shadows, we're using the features. We have no choice. We legitimately get 30 frames a second if we're not using them. So we have to turn on frame generation. We have to utilize the features. But if you get in there and you set it up in a way, it's more than playable. At this level of GPU, at this performance. Now, if you drop it to 1080p and just play it at 1080p, you're not going to have any problems. You're going to be able to have a good experience on this GPU with Assassin's Creed. But if you want to push above and beyond what the card is capable of doing with some of these newer games, the features give you the ability to do that. They give you the ability to push forward. They give you the ability to increase image quality, increase image clarity, to have your games looking and feeling better than you ever could have imagined at this price point. Now, I wasn't there for like the 20 series or anything below that. Everything that I've known from PC since I've been in it has been with features. DLSS was brand new and started coming out. We were starting to hear a lot more of it. AMD brought out FSR, Intel has XeSS, so we are living in a feature-rich environment when it comes to PC. Now, a lot of my peers out there are 100% dead set in staying with the tried and true thing. Like, I get that. Like, it's comfortable. It's comfortable to stick to what you know. Most of these guys have been PC gamers for a very long time. I was a console gamer up until, just a few years ago, like 3 years. I'm still a baby. I'm still a baby in the PC. So I still have that transition period from when I'm coming from a console on basically an AMD platform, playing my games, my Sony first party games, my Xbox games, and then moving over to PC. And it's been an interesting transition, to tell you guys the least. It started off where I was like, man, I didn't spend all this money on PCs to freaking turn on checkerboard rendering. I get it. Like, you do not want to hear that you're going to pay $1,000 for a GPU and then you're going to turn on upscaling. Like who wants to hear that? But my friends, here's the thing. If you just try it with the games that you love and it works out for you, that's a bonus. That's a bonus. Like, I get that like our GPUs have definitely taken a hit in terms of hardware. Like, you know what I mean? Like your hardware, the capacity that we believe and think that like, oh my gosh, we just need more and more and more to get better. My friends, I've been able to enjoy everything I've played on this 9060 XT. Absolutely, like no problem. I've played on 4K, I've played on 3440 by 1440p, I've played at 1080p. I've played a lot of games. I like I said, the first few days, I did not even capture footage. And to go back and try to recapture all that footage, I was just like, oh my gosh, no, we'll just get some footage from here forward. And so that's what I started doing. I just started grabbing some footage. Trust and believe, I got a lot of videos though that I'm gonna be getting you guys over the coming days. This here is just a kind of a sneak peek to show you that like, look, man, this thing actually performs and it's stable. That's like one of the biggest things. It's like, it is freaking stable. Like you get in there and you start playing a game and it's stable. I'm not getting like massive freaking like drops and like it feels very, very good. I will say though that the frame generation is not always perfect and it's not always a solution for every single problem. But when it's available, when there's a switch in the game, when you can turn on frame gen in the game, that is going to be the better option. As opposed to being able to utilize like AMD's fluid motion frames. If you turn on AFMF, you can tune it. There's more settings. It is a lot better than when it first launched. So you can actually get in there and play around with it and kind of tune it a little bit, and it is significantly better than when it first launched. But when you're sitting there at the beginning, like right now, like if your game has frame generation in it, okay, like you turn on frame generation, you can still get into Adrenaline and enable AMD's fluid motion frames too on top of that, and like multi-frame gen your games, whatever. I was playing around with it on on Indiana Jones, man. I had that thing rocking at like 400 frames a second on AMD. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. And it looked absolutely beautiful. I might put that video in here actually. I might do that. I might do that. Maybe. So I don't know. It depends if I was talking during that video or not, but you will be getting a video of that regardless. Like you're going to be getting a video of that, so I can show you guys the absolute freaking madness that that you can do with these cards, man. Like it's so crazy to see so many people being so negative about these features, and I'm sitting here and I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, I struck gold, because here we are. I don't know what PC generation this is, but if we're looking at consoles, this is the 9th generation, okay? And I'm looking at the experience that I'm getting from these GPUs. I'm sitting here, I'm having fun, I'm 100% immersed in the experiences that I'm playing, and I know I'm not the only one. Like I know I'm not the only one. Like you can pretend all day that like, oh my gosh, games are perfect when you spend thousands of dollars, or you can just accept the fact that like no game has ever been perfect. We've never had a perfect GPU. We've never had a perfect console. We've never had perfection when it comes to anything. No matter how much money we throw at it, it's never perfect. We always find some sort of issue. So you can either move forward and accept the fact that yes, our games, our hardware are starting to finally come together to produce an experience that we've never had before. Frame generation is going to get better. Upscaling is going to get better. And these are very valuable tools that we have so that we can play our games. When I'm sitting here, guys, and I'm playing these games with FSR4 or DLSS4 and I've got frame gen enabled, I'm not thinking like, oh my gosh, dude, is this real latency or not? Like I'm on a controller, like I'm not feeling it. I'm playing, and in my mind, I'm still close enough to when I was a console gamer to where I'm like, wow, this feels better than anything I've ever felt before. Like it does. Man, my whole freaking time with PC gaming so far, up to this point, up to these GPUs, has been I mean, like what? Like when I was on NVIDIA, it was stutter struggle. Like everything just stuttered and it was just, it was miserable most of the time. A new game would come out and it would just be a stuttering Stanley and I'd be like, what the freak, man? I haven't experienced that at all on my new NVIDIA GPUs or on the new AMD GPUs. It's just a lot more smooth and a lot more stable. Being able to utilize these features to really push our games to a point where it's the least enjoyable the first time we play it. I can't tell you how many times that I've bought a game that day one, I'm a day one guy. I'm a day one freaking gamer. I don't wait 6 months. I don't wait 2 years. I buy games day one. I want them to play. I want to play that game the day I buy it because that's when I'm most hyped for it. I am most hyped for a game the day I buy it. So when I want to get in there and play a game, I want it to be smooth. I want it to be playable. I want it to be as close to perfect as possible. I do. I think we all do. And we all know that PC gaming is probably one of the most anxiety-inducing experiences ever. Why do you think Steam has a 2-hour window to refund your games? And trust me, we've all been there where we buy a game and we're so mad that we just refund it out of anger and then never buy it again because it's so not good. Guys, I haven't had a game like that since this generation of GPUs. Not one game have I not been able to play day one. And trust and believe, I went into a lot of them thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not good. You read like the little spec chart thing and you're like, oh gosh, I'm not gonna be able to play this game. Yeah, dude, it's actually pretty dang good. I legit went into Assassin's Creed after seeing the specs that you needed for it. I was like, oh gosh, this game is gonna be horrible. This is gonna be bad. I got in there on the 9070 XT and I was like, gosh dang, this is great. Got in there on the 5070 Ti. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I beat the game. I spent a whole week on it. I legit finished that game on the PlayStation 5 Pro. We've got some incredible technologies, man. Just use them. Just have fun. That's what it's supposed to be about. There are people playing games on phones. There are people playing games on freaking everywhere. Like everywhere, on everything. They're streaming their games. My friends, we are at a golden age of gaming, and I'm gonna do my best to show you. That's why this review is showing you guys the good stuff. Showing you guys like how good this actually performs across multiple different resolutions. And giving you an experience that like, yeah, this is second to none. One of those experiences that I'm like, gosh dang, dude, 9060 XT. Never thought in my life that I would be back at a 60 class card. I'm not even joking, guys. I never thought that I would be back from a 3060 Ti back to a 60 class card being like, man, I can really enjoy this. And this is way better than when I bought into PC gaming in the first place. This is incredible. And this isn't even day one drivers. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I absolutely love this card. You guys can expect more content coming from the channel for this card versus the 5060 Ti. Sorry that I wasn't not able to get a lot of stuff into there for that, but by the time this video comes out, there will be other content for you guys to watch, both on the 5060 Ti and the 9060 XT. It's gonna blow your mind and rock your world, man. This is an incredible 60 series cards, man, and I am so glad that I get to be right here, day one, to cover them. So if you like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe, my friends. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. You guys are awesome.
I think they were intent on coming back.
Viters are near. Poison is still fresh, 3 days. They're following us.
If they knew we were here, they would have killed us already.
there, senor.
This is it. This is where Forrestal cashed in.
A friend of yours.
A competitor. He was good. He was very, very good.
Senor, nobody has come out of there alive. Please,